Hello, my name is Gareth. You're watching the Hub Online Network. Thank you for coming to the show. Today is mainly about things opening back up in BC. We, of course, have Jessica. I am working hard today, Evan. Thank you for asking. We have Jessica at home manning the chat. So if you have something to say it to her, and we will get on with the show right about now. So a really quick shout out to my nephew who has his own YouTube channel. He is a younger lad. And so so T.O. Can't T.O. is his YouTube channel. I told him I'd give a shout out today. So there you go, Mason. Now, first of all, we need to talk about the numbers. So we're going back to Tuesday, May 12th, where we saw 7 new cases, which is pretty low, and 1 new death. On the 13th, we had 16 new cases and 1 new death. And yesterday, we had 15 new cases and 3 new deaths. And I'm not sure what the numbers are today. I don't see them doing a live show right now. So if, Jessica, if you can find those, I don't know if they're doing one right now or not. That would be great. Now, yesterday, BC Parks opened up. So beginning on May 14th, most BC parks and trails that can accommodate physical distancing will reopen for day use only. Some areas and facilities remain closed, including playgrounds, picnics, shelters, and visitor centers. For more information, go to the BC Government of BC Facebook page. What I found interesting, now this doesn't say if campgrounds are necessarily closed. There were a lot. So this morning I was down at the coast for an eye checkup. There were lots of campers and trailers and trucks in the canyon as I was coming home. I probably counted about 200. It was really busy with trailers. So I'm not sure where they're going. I've heard rumor, but this is just speculation, that self-owned campsites are still open, and it's just the provincial campsites that are closed. So if you know about that, please put it in the chat and I will read it out. But that is from yesterday, the 14th. Everything is open back up mostly, but please maintain your physical distancing. So BC announces a part-time voluntary return to school beginning June 1st. So BC Premier John Horgan said some children will start to return to classrooms on a part-time voluntary basis beginning June 1st. The gradual reopening will apply to all students from kindergarten to grade 12, and schools will have to abide by rigorous cleaning procedures and follow provincial health guidelines, he said. These steps will pave the way for full start back in September. The number of students in class will be limited. In-person classes will be limited to part-time hours, with start times and breaks staggered throughout the day to encourage physical distancing. Elementary schools will be limited to 50% in-class instruction, while middle and secondary schools will be limited to 20% in-class instructions, or 1 day a week. So students would be, so this isn't everybody goes back to school, doors are open, everybody goes. This is 1 day a week. In some cases, it might be mornings or afternoons. Schools will look significantly different than they were before the pandemic. Everyone will be required to wash their hands as soon as they enter school properly, while staff, parents, and students will need to do a daily health assessment and stay home if they feel unwell. All school boards and independent schools will have to submit their operational plans to the Ministry of Education before they reopen, and online learning will continue for students who choose to stay home. Now, if you have any feelings or want to say anything about this or anything else, you can give me a call at 778-694-4662, and I'll take your call right now, right here, and you can have your say. Talking about the emergency wage subsidy, the government, and this is not the CERB, this is the wage subsidy. So if you are an employer and you want to bring in employees, this is that 75% of the full, the government will cover 75% of the full program, up to $847 per week. So the government emergency wage subsidy program will be extended to the end of August to help employers keep their workers on the payroll during the pandemic. The program, which covers 75% of an ineligible company's payroll and up to a maximum of $847 per week per employee, originally was set to expire next month. Companies that saw their revenues drop by 15% in March or 30% in April and May are eligible for the program. The program will now be available to registered journalism organizations, registered amateur athletic associations, indigenous government-owned corporations, and non-public colleges and schools, including arts, driving, language, and flight schools. The government will consult businesses and labor representatives over the next month about other possible adjustments to the program to promote jobs and growth. As for things opening up, we have a info about surgeries. So beginning on May 19th, Interior Health will resume elective surgeries that were postponed due to COVID-19. While the pandemic continues to evolve, Interior Health is collaborating with the Ministry of Health to safely resume elective surgeries to support access for patients, both on the wait lists and yet to be added. Throughout the resumption of services, our priority is to minimize the risk of transmission of COVID-19. Interior Health is calling patients to confirm their health status and if they are able and willing to move forward with surgery. We recognize that some individuals may wish to continue to postpone their surgery at this time. Those who choose not to proceed with their surgery immediately will hold their spot on the wait list. In an effort to support as many people as possible, Interior Health will also maximize our ability to provide minor procedures that do not... My wife just walked in the room. Hi, Amy. Hi. Ability to provide minor procedures that do not require an operating room, as well as day surgeries that do not require overnight stays in hospital. Urgent, imminent, and oncology-related surgeries are not impacted by the pause in surgery and will continue to prioritize cases. So, some bullet points are: when possible, patients will be assessed through a virtual pre-admission clinic by video. Consistent screening tools and risk assessment guidelines will be used. Patients will be assessed 24 to 72 hours prior to surgery and upon arrival the day of surgery. Surgeries will be scheduled with time to accommodate additional cleaning and infection control measures. So they're moving forward on opening up elective surgeries. So that is great for the people that have and need those coming up. The next one up is they're talking about gyms and fitness centers able to reopen May 19th. So an order by Interior Health Chief Medical Health Officer closing all fitness gyms, yoga studios, and similar personal training facilities will be lifted on May 19th. The order issued April 2nd is being rescinded in accordance with BC's Restart Plan Phase 2. This will allow these facilities to reopen as long as they can meet requirements to protect staff and clients against the spread of COVID-19. Any facility wishing to resume operation must develop a plan based on the measures laid out by the Provincial Health Office. And there's a way that you can, there's a website you can go to apply for that. But we're going to move on. So, WorkSafe BC says that COVID-19. So returning to safe operations. So Work BC, we are partnering in the BC government's phase approach for reopening BC businesses by developing resources for the industries as they prepare to be reopened, including our general guide for COVID-19 and returning to safe operation. Frequently asked questions may... Okay, so there's a frequently asked questions poster. So the COVID-19 returning to safe operation phase 2. WorkSafe BC recognizes the importance of worker safety as businesses look to resume operations following COVID-19 related work stoppages or interruptions. The following materials provide employees with information and resources to assist them in ensuring the risk of exposure to the virus that causes COVID-19 is minimized at their workspaces. Now, some of the things that they are talking about are the virus that causes COVID-19 spreads in several ways, including through droplets. And so they're going to understand the risk at your workplace. Consider the following questions. Where do people congregate, such as break rooms, production lines, or meeting rooms? What job tasks or processes require workers to come into close proximity with one another or a member of the public? What materials that are exchanged, such as money, credit cards, and paperwork? What tools, machinery, and equipment do people come into contact with in the course of their work? And what services are touched often, such as doorknobs, elevators, light switches, etc. So if you are a business and you need to come up with your plan, these are what they're looking at. So if you want to make your plan, take into consideration some of those things. They also want to provide make sure that you provide adequate hand washing facilities on site for all workers and ensure the location is visible and easily accessed. Develop policies around when workers must wash their hands, including upon arriving for work. Implement a cleaning protocol for all common areas and surfaces, including washrooms, equipment, tools, common tables, desks, light switches, and door handles. Remove any unnecessary tools or equipment that may elevate the risk of transmission. Maintain your physical distance, so consider reducing the overall number of workers at the workplace at one time. Ensure that the appropriate number of people are in each area of the workplace to prevent workers from coming too close. Maintain distance of 2 meters between workers and other whenever possible. Implement measures to ensure workers can maintain a distance of 2 meters. This is a really long list. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I put this into Jessica, if you can't find it, it's at the WorkSafe BC website. Put it into the chat. Again, this is a very long list, and I know that people get bored if I read things verbatim. So I'm going to move on from that. But these are a lot of the things that they're talking about when they're saying you have to make up a plan to continue your work moving forward. Now the next one is about tattoos, piercings, and other personal services. So establishments where a person provides a service to or on the body of another person must follow provincial guidelines. Environmental health officers inspect facilities providing moderate and higher risk services, and lower risk services are not routinely inspected. However, owners need to declare their ability to operate in a manner that prevents the spread of the disease. So some of these are high risk. Where is the? Here it is. So, high-risk services include body modifications such as branding and scarification, body piercing, ear-nose piercings, electrolysis, micropigmentation, microblading, shaving using non-disposable blades and handles, and tattooing. So those are high-risk services. So they will be scrutinized carefully and monitored a lot. Moderate risk services include colonic irrigation, class 3B and 4 laser services or tattoo removal, flotation tank, manicure, pedicure, shaving of reusable razors, and tanning. And low risk services are aromatherapy, nails, salons, face and body painting, hair, barbers, makeup, massage, mud, steam baths, teeth whitening, waxing, shaving, ear piercing. I never thought I'd say these things on this show, but live and learn. So all those things are on low risk end of that spectrum. So again, if you are a person that runs something that is a business of that kind, you still must come up with a plan and send it into the government. So let's move on from that. So this one is or I should say this is shared from the Jackie Taggart's Twitter feed. So this is a reminder, if you are in Lillooet, so despite the fact that a lot of provincial parks are opening up, reminder that Seton Lake beaches and boat launches are still closed as of today, May 15th. So ahead of the May long weekend, the Emergency Operations Center in both, I'm sorry, I can't the Indigenous groups in Lillooet want to remind everyone that access to the beaches and the boat launch at Stetton Lake are now closed in the general public area. This is a little bit too small. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Thank you. Measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Most of the land in the eastern end of Stetton Lake as manages legal access, boat launches, and the beaches. So the public wharf at Stetton Lake is jointly licensed. The closure of the dock and the boat launch is part of the joint effort to address COVID-19. So if you're wanting to go to Stetton Lake in Lillooet, it is still closed despite the fact that some other lakes and campsites and stuff are opening up this weekend. What do we got? So another one from the office of Jackie Taggart, and this is also shared by the Healthcare and Wellness Coalition in Ashcroft. So thank you guys for sharing this on Facebook. The subject compost facility is, so this is about the smoke and fire that is still going on just outside of Cache Creek. So the subject compost facility is regulated by Environmental Management Act Permit 108210. This permit does not authorize burning, and this fire was a result of autogenetic heating of a coal oversized materials pile. The ministry first became aware of the fire Monday, May 11th, and on the morning of May 13th, issued a pollution prevention order where it becomes apparent that the operator did not have the ability to combat this fire. A copy of the order is attached. So this is on Facebook with the Healthcare and Wellness Coalition. The firefighting contractor attended late yesterday, and I am advised that this morning the fire is largely out and that the contractor is still mopping up so that there is still smoke being released. However, I expect smoke release to cease later today. My apologies for the province's delay, as a number of agencies were involved and it took some time to realize that none were actioning in this incident. We stepped in with our order under Section 8.1 of the Environmental Management Act as soon as we determined that it was needed to compel the necessary action. So again, that is from Jackie Taggart, shared through the Healthcare and Wellness Coalition. So thank you, Jackie, for getting that done. That is awesome. From the village of Cache Creek, the Cache Creek Sandy Dump at the Community Hall is now open for the season. Please note that there is no fresh water currently available. Because this is the long weekend, the Ashcroft IDA will be closed May 18th. They say Happy Victoria Day. Now I believe, no, okay, so the Canada Emergency Student Benefit, or the CESB, so this is now a thing that you can, if you are a student, you can apply for today. So who can apply? If you are able to work, you must be actively looking for work to be eligible to receive the CESB. If you still cannot find work due to COVID-19, you can reapply for each CESB eligibility period that you were eligible for. You cannot apply for the CESB if you already applied for the CERB or EI. There's so many acronyms. If you have already applied or are receiving support from the Canada Emergency Response Benefit or Employment Insurance, you are not eligible to apply for the CESB. This is on the Government of Canada Revenue Agency website, and then it goes through eligibility. Are you a Canadian citizen? Have you enrolled in post-secondary school? So this is for anybody that is looking for work that can't find work due to COVID-19. And you don't have access to the CRB or EI, and you're still a student, for the summer, you can apply for this and you can get hooked up with finances to help you out through the summer months. So that is awesome. And that being said, that is something that our local MP, Brad Viss, was working on. That's really why I brought it up, because this is based off of his Twitter feed. So he petitioned and worked diligently on trying to get this going. So thank you, Brad Viss. I'm sure that that'll help a lot of people. And so that is awesome. I can get rid of that one. So now sort of moving away from COVID-19, not really. This is a story from APTN. So the First Nation leaders say that $305 million is not enough as MPs greenlight COVID-19 relief measures. So the House, so again, I'm reading most of this, again, this is from APTN. The House of Commons has passed a bill that greenlights the government's $82 billion COVID-19 economic relief package. But according to a letter sent to the government by Association of Iroquois and Allied Indians, AIAI, the money set aside for Indigenous communities wasn't or won't be enough. Quote, I think that money is going to run out pretty quick, Grand Chief Joel Abram said about the $305 million Indigenous Community Support Fund, which the package includes. Abram, whose organization represents 7 Ontario First Nations, said he sent the letter to Finance Minister Bill Monroe to make sure that there is enough flexibility in the support fund given this unprecedented aid and rapidly changing situation. It is likely that the virus has already spread extensively in First Nations communities, and we can expect a much greater number of cases in the coming weeks, Abram wrote. Abram added that First Nations face greater risk due to overcrowding, isolation, declining infrastructure, limited internet access, and lack of health care resources. Because of higher rates of chronic illness and lower determinants of health, the letter said that First Nations expect much higher mortality rate. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, a handful of MPs gathered in Parliament Hill to debate the emergency relief bill. Debate stalled after the opposition Conservative Party accused the Liberal government of an undemocratic power grab. What do you think? Is that enough money? Is that not enough money? You can email us at hon@ashcrofthub.com. You can comment in this video, or you still have a little bit of time before I'm done here to give me a call. I'd love to hear your opinion on that situation. Now, as we mentioned on Monday, the Hub Online Network is looking for 3 people, 1 full-time job for the year and 2 part-time and 2 full-time jobs for the summer. So if you are, so this grant is through Assets. So if you are someone in the that identifies as Indigenous, you can apply for 2 positions. That will pay $14.60 an hour for 35 hours a week, starting as soon as somebody applies. You get orientation on the job, and you can find our job posting for that on our Facebook page, or Jessica will put it into our chat here. Also, a full-time person for 1 year at $18 an hour. Please email your resumes to manager@hubonlinenetwork.com. This is for a video producer, so that will get on-the-job training, all sorts of fun stuff. This is a pretty fun job in my opinion, so if you would like to come and help me out, please apply, and we look forward to getting your applications in as soon as possible. So that is, let me just make sure that that's all that I have today. So Monday we are off. It's the long weekend. So we'll be back Tuesday at 3. We have in the books planned an interview with Deb Arnett next week. We're looking to do something with our MP Brad Viss in the near future, as he is getting lots of calls from his riding area about what's going on. So he would like to do a formal town hall type discussion through the Hub Online Network. We have a couple other really cool projects on the go, so please stay tuned to that. Check out our YouTube page for some other, all of our videos are in one spot, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. If you have to travel, again, travel safe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good day.